Okay, so welcome. My name's Shawnee Adams, and basically I've decided I'm going to start recording my weight loss journey and cycling journey combined into one. So I thought I would make a quick video explaining where I'm at, what with my weight loss and things like that, what I've done up to now, and what I'm doing going forward. So basically, yeah, I'm going to start doing these. Probably a weekly vlog of what I'm doing with my biking, where I've been going, and I'm going to combine that with sort of like a weekly weigh-in, so I can basically just vlog for myself and keep a log of how I'm losing weight, what I've been doing, what's successful, because I'm doing that many different things. It's hard to keep track really. So what I've been doing so far is basically every year it comes round to Christmas, get into the new year, I make a New Year's resolution that I'm going to lose weight. I start dieting, I start doing a bit of exercise, I do well, get to about April, then we tend to go on holiday most years, over Easter, which is normally around April. We normally go to France where there's loads of like nice food, croissants, it normally knocks me out, and it's always difficult to keep going after that, and I kind of bounce back and put the weight back on. So why things are being a bit different this year, it's currently the 2nd of July. So basically over Christmas this year, I felt really ill. I was at about 210 pounds before Christmas. I felt really ill over Christmas, just didn't feel well or healthy. I hadn't been eating well or healthy, although I did turn vegetarian sort of mid-September 2019, so I'd been vegetarian for a couple of months, so I'd been going really well, but I just didn't feel great over Christmas. But I wasn't eating healthily, although I wasn't eating meat, I was still eating a lot of crap really. So I decided I was going to lose weight the same way I did, but the reason things were a bit different was my half brother died end of November 2019, and he was 49 when he died, and he died of a heart attack. And there is a history of heart disease in my dad's side of the family, so that was on my mind. I'm 43, so it just scared the life out of me that in 7 years time I could be dying, leaving. I've got a family of 2 kids, it just scared the life out of me, so that was a big motivation. So I did the same thing, came around to New Year, started doing a calorie controlled diet. I was trying to limit my calories to about 1,500 calories a day, aiming to lose about £2 a week. It started going well, like it always does, losing loads of weight, but I just felt a little bit more motivated than normal. Then what started to happen was the coronavirus thing was kicking off. It was starting to get a lot more publicity. Obviously it was happening in China, but then it started moving into Europe. We were getting into around about February, and end of February, Italy was having a rough time. A lot of people were starting to die, and people were talking about being obese was an underlying health issue, and it was causing complications for people who were getting coronavirus. That was playing on my mind, because obviously I was still overweight. And that was just giving me a bit more motivation, if anything. I knew it was heading our way, and I just didn't want to be carrying any more weight than I needed to be when it was getting here, and if I happened to get it, because there was a lot of people getting it at that time. So that moves us on to round about end of March. We're still losing weight, really motivated, and we went into lockdown. So obviously from that point I started working from home. So I was at home a lot more, but I was determined over lockdown that I just wasn't going to sit on my backside in the house all day. I started getting up early every morning through the weekdays at 6 o'clock, taking the dog for a walk, coming home. I was doing yoga, doing meditation. It was just keeping my head and body healthy really, and then I was obviously doing my normal exercise. When I say my normal exercise, what I was doing at that point was what I normally do when I start dieting. We have a cross trainer at home. It's quite a decent Reebok cross trainer. I would go on that 5 days a week for about half an hour. If I could do more, I would. and that was just getting my fitness up, and it was going really well. I was doing more and more of it, going on for longer than I was doing, and that was going fine. And I was obviously through lockdown I was doing that, and I started going out for runs on a morning with the dog. Instead of walking with the dog, I was running with the dog, which was only a couple of kilometres, but I was still doing it. But I just don't do very well with running. I just don't enjoy it. I've never been able to run at all. And then one day I had an old bike that I'd had for about 10 years. It was a hybrid commuter bike. It's not a very good bike. I just got on it and decided to go for a bike ride. And what I've since found out is where I live, we're on a national cycle trail. I do always see cyclists going past the house. Never thought much of it. But we're on a national cycle trail. I'm in a part of the country that's quite flat. There's a lot of airfields around here. I live in a really nice part of England. So I started doing a bit of cycling. I started watching a few videos on YouTube. Big shout out to Katie Kookaburra. I've watched loads of her videos, watched her weight loss journey. So that was a bit of an inspiration. So I did a few bike rides, and I just started doing more and more. And it was nicer to be outside, actually getting a bit of fresh air than exercising indoors or in the garden. So I did it a few times for a week or so, and the problem I was having was that the bike was a 6-speed, and I was finding that I was wanting to go faster, but I couldn't go faster because it only had 6 gears, and I was getting to the point where my legs were going 10 to the dozen, but I wasn't getting anywhere. So I started looking into a few things, and it seemed like the way forward was to probably get a road bike. I've never been on a road bike before. I always had mountain bikes as a kid. And I had this hybrid bike, which was great, but it just seemed really slow. So if I just flick over to Strava, I started logging things on Strava when I started running, and I did my first few bike rides. So you can see here, these are my first. This is back in May, start of May. So this was my very first evening out on the bike, which was a little loop near me, 11 kilometres. It took me 43 minutes. My average speed was 15 kilometres an hour, which I now know was really slow compared to being on the road bike. But obviously enjoyed that. I did the same again. A day later, did the same one. Did it slightly quicker, a couple of minutes quicker. This is another little loop. Going slightly faster, 16 kilometers an hour, but it was quite frustrating. I just really knew I was going slow. This was the first longer ride I did on my old bike. 36 kilometers. And it took me forever. It just seemed to take forever. 14.5 kilometers an hour. It took me 2.5 hours. I went out at 6 o'clock in the morning. I thought I'd be back by 8. My wife was really worried because I took so long. Yeah, so 2.5 hours that one took. So here we go. The Sesse loop on my new bike. So that's the same route as the first time I went out. 11.16 kilometers, and this was on the 3rd of June, so sort of a month in I was on the new bike, and straight away my average speed jumped up by 10 kilometers an hour just by going from a 6-speed commuter bike to a 16-speed road bike. And it's not a great road bike by any means. So when I started looking, it was a good thing and a bad thing when I started looking, because obviously we were still in full lockdown in England, so the roads were quiet, but the problem was everybody was buying bikes to do exercise on, and the government was recommending people not to go on public transport and to get to if they could walk into work or cycle into work. So everywhere that could sell a bike was selling out of bikes. So there was a few places I was looking. on Decathlon. This is the cheapest bike Decathlon sell. £379. I was happy to buy that, but as you can see, they're only selling extra small. I needed a medium or a large, I think, so they just didn't have my size in, so that was out of stock. Evans Cycles, which is a large bike store, they sell this bike, which looked good. These were all about, I was looking to try and get a bike around about 10 kilograms if possible. Literally that's the only one they sell is in extra large. That's in the right size. I needed a medium. I looked on Halfords. This seems like it's the most this Carrera Virtuoso is apparently one of the most popular bikes in the UK. I think it's probably because it's the cheapest road bike you could get. They were selling one for £325 at the time. This is the new model for 2019. So there was a black and red one that was £325. I was literally, the Sunday night I was about to buy it, I didn't. They had it in my size. I went on the Monday morning to buy it, and it was out of stock, so it was no good. So I started looking around on eBay, and I found someone close to me selling the bike I was about to buy the night before. So I kept my eye on it, and I ended up winning this bike for £201. So I saved myself about £125, but it obviously is second hand, but it looked okay. He said in the description it recently had it at a bike shop and it was all checked over, so I went and got it. I've not looked back since, really. It's a great little bike. There's a few things I'm going to upgrade on it, like the handlebar wraps. I want to put some better ones on. I'm going to put some new tyres on because they're wearing out. But yeah, I've not really looked back, and I've just been doing longer and longer bike rides. The way I was trying to do it was I was trying to, on my longer rides, add sort of 5 kilometres, not 5 kilometres, about 10% extra each time at least. When I was going out, so I was adding on about 10% of my longest distance. So I went up to there. That was 42 at the time. That was my longest bike ride I'd done. And I'm lucky round here that it's flat, and there's some stunning little villages which I'm going to put on the vlogs. This is a local bike ride to a local abbey. I'll try and go there again, get some footage of it. So 42. This was another long one, 53 kilometres. I'm saying a long one. This was, at the time, this was my longest I'd been on the bike. So I was trying to just build up my stamina and my endurance, really. And then this is the longest one I've done to date. This was a couple of weeks ago. I did 92 kilometres. I'm trying to build up to 100k. I wish I'd just done an extra sort of 7.5 kilometres, and then I could have said I'd done 100k on this one. This was quite a long one, but I'm pretty amazed. I never thought I'd be able to do it this quickly. My endurance has gone up quite quick, but this was brutal. When it got to this point round here, there was a climb, which I didn't know at the time was included on the 2017 Tour de Yorkshire. This was part of the route I was on, and that was hard work going up there. I did have to stop a few times, but I'm not bothered about that. I mean, I'm a beginner. This will all build up as I get going. Yes, that's where I am. I'm just going out regularly as much as I can. I'm trying to get out five times a week if I can, if weather permitting. I bought myself a load of cycling clothing, and that's where I'm at, really. So what I'm going to start doing is from next week I'm going to start taking the camera out with me, getting some footage and doing weekly weigh-ins. Okay, so this is my weight loss today. I use MyFitnessPal to record my weight loss. I also use it as a calorie tracker, but I haven't been doing that. I did it to start with, but I kind of know where I'm at with calories at the moment. So I've not been putting the calories in. So yeah, I know I was at £210 before. Basically I was £210 when I went vegetarian mid-September. So I'd lost a bit just by being vegetarian. So this is the new year here. And you can see it dropping down, and this week I was down to 172.8. In kilograms that's 16.8 kilograms. In stones that's 2.65. So currently I'm weighing 172.8. I'm 78 kilograms. In stones, I work in pounds. I'm 12.34. Yeah, so I'm kind of as light as I've ever been. At the moment, I feel great. I feel healthy. I'm doing really well. I'm really sort of proud of myself. So I'm hoping the information I'm putting up will be interesting for people. Please feel free to follow me on Strava so you can see what I'm doing. And I hope you find my weekly videos interesting. So hopefully I'll lose weight this week. I'm trying to get under 170 pounds. It'd be nice to break that 170. I'm wanting to get down to about 150. I think with my BMI. Let's work it out. BMI calculator. Let's try it on the NHS. So I'm 5'9". I think I'm still classed as obese at the moment. Switch to kilograms. What did we say I was? 78 point. I'll just copy that. I'm 43. I'm male. I'm white. And I'm active at the moment. Does it not like the point? Yeah. Let's just put 78 in. Right, so I'm still classed as overweight, so I need to get my BMI, it looks like 25, down to 25. So I was aiming at getting my BMI dead in the middle, and I think I need to be about 150 pounds weight wise. So that's what my target is. I know BMI isn't a great, it doesn't take into account a lot of things like muscle mass and stuff, but I'm aiming for that. I'd like to get down to that. I am still carrying a lot of like fat on my belly. When I look in the mirror and stuff, I can see it's still there, so I still got weight to lose. So that's what I'm aiming for, and it's going well. So yeah, hopefully my weigh-in days are normally Tuesdays, so this Tuesday I'll weigh in, and then I'll start sort of recording my bike rides. I'll take the camera out with me, and I hope it's interesting for people. So that's where I'm at the moment. I hope you find that useful, and I'll check in with you next week.